Do something by doing nothing, part 3. Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. And doing something by doing nothing is the subject of our discussion this week. Now, as I've said before, it sounds like a contradiction in terms, but actually, in order to build the power of your spiritual connection with infinite intelligence and to enhance your ability to use the power of that spiritual connection, the thing you need to learn is how to relax and how to do nothing. Now, when I say do nothing, I'm talking about physical action, because we here in the Western civilized world are so indoctrinated to applying physical action that we've been separated from the awareness of our mental connection to infinite intelligence. And I use the phrase awareness of our mental connection to infinite intelligence because whether we're aware of it or not, the connection still exists. It's always there. It always exists. There's no way that it cannot exist because because infinite intelligence is all there is, and we are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. So our thoughts are always being fed into the creative field of infinite intelligence. Now, it's only the level of our own awareness that determines how effectively we can apply the power of infinite intelligence. But it is our birthright. It is our birthright as individualized expressions to have the power of infinite intelligence work on our behalf. So since we're very much locked into our physical reality and our physical action paradigm, we've lost faith in and awareness of the work that infinite intelligence is actually doing in our lives. And that's what we're here on the wings of your mind to talk about. Please click on the thumbs up button below. And if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe, which is on it's in the corner, right-hand corner. Remember, I'd love to have your thoughts and your questions and your comments and your ideas. And if you got any, please put them in the chat box on the right there. Hi, GR Live TV. If you're viewing this live, please use the chat box. If you are viewing this in replay, well, the chat box is inactive, so please use the comment section below. Okay, so back to work. So we're talking about training your mind to do nothing. Our way of life has conditioned us to always want to be active participants rather than the grateful recipients of what life has to offer. We live in a so-called go-getter society. So we believe that if you want to see something happen in your life, you've got to have a deep-seated need to perform some physical action to make it happen. We're afraid of being we're afraid of being seen as dreamers and not doers. So not only do we hear the disparaging references to dreamers in our media, we also hear it from people who supposedly love us, people who are close to us in our lives. They call us dreamers, then they mean losers, because the term dreamer has been so strongly associated with the term loser that it's come to be a synonym. A dreamer is a loser. But let me offer you a different perspective. Learning to sit back and do nothing but dream for a while can make whatever it is that you want to happen actually happen sooner than if you just applied physical force alone to that situation. Champion athletes have known this truth for the past 50 years, because 50 years ago, the Russians began mentally training their athletes to win by working with their minds, with their powers of visualization, as well as with their bodies. And then everybody started rushing to catch up with the Russians. But they actually started what has become the visualization movement in sports. Psychologists have conducted dozens of studies to demonstrate the power of the mind, and many high-level athletes, can attest to the truth of that. For example, let's take a look at these. Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps is the former Olympic swimmer who has won 23 Olympic gold medals. 23. And part of Phelps' training was to watch a mental video of a race in his imagination when he woke up in the morning and before he went to sleep at night. He would use all his senses to create a mental image. So his vision included every detail from the starting blocks to the winning celebration. Michael Phelps. Number 2, Lindsey Vonn. Lindsey Vonn is a former American World Cup and Olympics alpine ski racer. She won the Olympic gold medal along with over 30 World Cup titles in various skiing disciplines. Lindsey says by the time she actually arrived at the starting gate, she had already run that particular race 100 times in her head. She believes that gave her the competitive edge. Her visualization ability was what gave her her competitive edge. Tiger Woods. Eldrick Tiger Woods. He's a professional American golfer. He holds numerous professional golfing records. He's widely regarded as one of the greatest golfers of all time and one of the most famous athletes in the world. He's already been elected to the World Golf Hall of Fame. But as a child, Tiger learned about visualization from his father, and many have acknowledged that his mental game has played a key role in his incredible achievements. Tiger Woods. And finally, Muhammad Ali. Now, Muhammad Ali is best known for focusing on the desired outcome. He was always claiming he was the greatest. He would always predict when he was going to knock somebody out. He visualized himself standing victorious as the referee declared him champion. His mental image included all the details, the smells of the ring and his sweat, sounds from the screaming crowd, vivid flashes of cameras snapping photos. All those were part of his visual videos, his mental videos, so that he would have that winning attitude, but better yet, his body would already know that it had won the fight. Now, a recent study at Harvard University took a group of volunteers, divided them into 2 groups. Now, the first group physically practiced a simple 5-finger piano exercise for 2 hours a day for a whole week. The second group imagined themselves sitting in front of a piano and practicing the 5-finger piano exercise for 2 hours a day for a week. We got the physical practicing, we got the mental practicing. The physical reality, the imagination reality. They did brain scans on both groups that showed that their brains developed the same kind of neural networks, even though one group never actually touched the piano. In another study at the Cleveland Clinic, a group of research volunteers between the ages of 20 and 35 imagined doing weightlifting workouts and flexing their biceps as hard as they could mentally over five training sessions per week for 12 weeks. They didn't actually do it. They imagined it. They imagined themselves lifting the weight. They imagined themselves contracting those muscles to lift that weight. And their electric brain activity was recorded and their muscle strength was measured. And the brain activity showed that the brain acted as though the activity was actually happening in real life. And their muscle strength increased at 13.5%, even though they never actually touched the weights. Now, I've used the preceding examples to show you the power of the subconscious mind. It can make things happen within our bodies as if it really happened in real life. And then, as those champion athletes have shown us, the winning events that their subconscious minds created for them actually happened. Actually happened. I can remember when I was a creative director at an advertising agency, I was sometimes invited to speak in front of various groups and sometimes at universities. Now, the first time I was asked to speak at a university, I was a little nervous because I didn't have any degrees, not at that time. So for a few days before the event, what I did was I visualized myself giving a successful speech and being so good at it that I got a standing ovation. Now, I imagined this for several days. When I finally got to the university and delivered the speech, I actually got a standing ovation. So for the past 2 days, we've been working on the practice of doing nothing mentally, on shutting off your mind so that you could have a short period of mental activity. An additional benefit of learning how to do nothing mentally is that you're learning how to control your mind. That's what the important part. Controlling your mind is a critical aspect of creating an altered reality with your mind. Learning to control your mind is learning to empower your mind by impressing images onto your subconscious. The act of visualizing sends a message to your brain to develop neurons and neural pathways to set up your brain as if that activity has actually happened. And then the brain will naturally fall into using those neural pathways when the event actually does occur. But the real power that this results from, the fact that the subconscious is continually transmitting and impressing upon the creative field of infinite intelligence. Your subconscious mind is continuously transmitting. So, since infinite intelligence reflects back to us what our subconscious impresses upon it, then what's going to happen? Infinite intelligence will create circumstances in our lives to match the picture that our subconscious projects upon it. According to the teachers of the mystic and teacher Neville Goddard, what your imagination impresses upon your subconscious and faithfully holds onto that imagery as if it is already true, even if your physical sentences currently disagree, it will eventually harden into fact. I like those words he used. It will harden into fact and become your physical reality. The mechanism, as he describes it, is what gets hardened into fact actually removes from the individual consciousness whatever doesn't fit, whatever is not related to or is in conflict with the assumption. And it does it without the use of mental or emotional force. Without mental or emotional force. It just does it because you thought it, because you are impressing upon the field of infinite intelligence what your subconscious wants to see, your environment. Your environment will eventually conform to your subconscious assumption. Faithful assumption of what is in your imagination. And Einstein once said the most powerful thing in the universe is your imagination. So your imagination elevates your thoughts beyond limited thinking. You don't have to force it emotionally. You don't have to force it mentally. All you have to do is hold the thought and not contradict it. But that's hard to do if your mind is not trained. That's hard to do if you do not able to control your mental processes. That is why we're going through these exercises now of learning how to do nothing. The point is to see that if it already exists, and we're going to go over that tomorrow, if you see it as already existing, then your subconscious mind is going to work with infinite intelligence to harden it into fact. harden it into fact and make it a physical reality. But the hard part is to trust that infinite intelligence will make it happen. So remember what you've been doing over the past couple of days by training your mind to do nothing. Do nothing. Because what you're building is a new life skill that will eventually benefit you in creating a successful life for yourself. So continue to work with the steps I gave you yesterday to become a master at it. Then this skill is going to take you to a level when you're working with infinite intelligence, to a level where you can allow things that you want to be drawn to you through the power of your subconscious mind in partnership with infinite intelligence. With those steps that I showed you yesterday, we're seeking to give you the kind of control that you need to quiet those self-limiting thoughts when you get ready to direct your mind to focus on building your power in altering your life for the better. Okay? Let's talk more about it tomorrow. In the meantime, let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And please remember to click on the thumbs up button below. And if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. And that is located in the lower right-hand corner. And I would really love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions, which you can now put in the comment section below the video. Tomorrow, as I say, we're going to go one more step in this process of learning how to do something by doing nothing. Doing something by doing nothing. In the meantime, my name is Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.